Hello adventurer, welcome to Stress Quest. Today is day 4 of learning math from scratch and today we'll learn about the fraction addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So let's start. Before we start learning about how to do addition, subtraction and division of fraction, let's learn why do we need to do the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Well, because basically this calculation of fraction helps us to solve a lot of real life problems. If for example you have like a recipe where you need 3 by 4 cup of sugar, right? So according to that, you need to put the sugar, but you are only making half of it. How do you solve it? Well, using multiplication or fraction. So using this calculation, we solve the real life problem. So fraction helps us to solve these real life problem. That's why we need calculation of fraction. I hope I didn't confuse you. Anyway, let's move forward and learn to do the actual calculations. Let's put two things beside here: addition and subtraction, and multiplication and division. As addition and subtraction are really similar, and multiplication and division are really similar of fraction. So let's first of all go with the hard way. Multiplication and division is honestly really easy. Addition and subtraction easy, but little bit of a extra step. So let's take two fraction. 2 by 6 and 3 by 6. Here, note that the lower number, also known as denominator, is same and the upper number are different. If you add this, it would be 5. Now I want you to do this yourself. Would it be, what would be here, the answer here? Would it be 12? Well, that's the calculation, right? Well, no, because the denominator or the total number will always be the same. Remember, we always told ourselves the lower number is the total number we cut the pieces into. That's also the reason that the both of the lower number needs to be same. Let's take an example. Let's say we have an apple. Let's take two apples for example, and we cut each of them into 6 pieces. If we need to, and among these, let's say the first apple is A and the second apple is B. We cut each of them into 6 pieces, but among the 6 pieces, in A we only get 2, and in B we only get 3. We could say we get 2 by 6 apple in here, pieces in here, and 3 by 6 pieces in here. In fraction, we are comparing with the number that makes a whole. When we put together 6 pieces, we get one whole apple. When we put together 12 whole pieces, we don't get one whole apple, we get two whole apple. And that's wrong. We are comparing the number with one whole. You always compare the fraction that make one whole. If it is a pizza, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, the total add together will give us one whole. For example, 1 at 8 time will give us one whole. Let's give a discrete example. Take pizza, let's cut into 8 pieces. We eat 1 piece, 2 piece, 3 piece, 4 piece, 5 piece, 6 piece, 7 piece, 8 piece. We completed one whole pizza. So that's the reason that the number doesn't change below the denominator, because we are comparing the one whole with the total. So when you say 5 by 6, we're saying out of the 6 pieces, we have eaten 5 pieces, or out of the whole one apple, we eat 5 pieces of apple. This is the condition where the denominator or the pieces is same. But what if rather than cutting the pieces same, we cut the pieces different? Let's say we rather than cutting 6, be 6 time, we cut the pieces 5. Now, can we do this? Can we, like, for example, 6 plus 5 and do this? No, obviously wrong. Because of the fact that the very fundamental is we cannot add two different pieces. Let's say apple again, for example. when we cut the apple into 6 pieces, the pieces is thin, little bit thin. But when we cut into 5 pieces, the pieces is a little bit large than the 6 pieces. Previously, even if we scramble the pieces and add them together, as we had cut them into pieces equally, we could make it a whole using 6 pieces. But in here, the pieces size is different. So there is no way that we can add them. So we cannot add them. So if it was 2 by 3 plus, sorry, 2 by 6 and 3 by 5, we cannot add them. Does that mean you cannot add unequal fraction? No, no. We can solve this problem using our hero, LCM. LCM is basically the scissor that cuts the pieces into more smaller pieces. What if, okay, let's take the apple pieces for example. The pieces are smaller, pieces are unequal, but still we can make it smaller. Yes, the pieces in here is bigger, pieces of A is bigger than pieces of B. Sorry. So we cut it into 6 pieces, we cut A maybe into 5 pieces. The pieces of A is bigger than pieces of B. But how can we make sure that all the pieces are equal? Well, cutting them more into smaller pieces. As cutting them into smaller pieces will make it small. Both of them will be smaller. It will make sure that A will be smaller, A and B pieces will be equal. So we need to cut B little bit less, but B more. So make sure that the amount is equal. If you haven't watched the LCM video or LCM video, please go check it out because this is fair. We need the LCM here. How can we do the LCM? Let's do a quick revision. Just put the lower number as we are trying to make that lower number equal. We need to take the LCM of it. So we need to cut down the 6 and 5 into more smaller pieces so both of them fit together. So here 1 and 2 we can divide it with. So 2 3 is 6, 2 5 we cannot divide much more. So let's multiply them. 2 into 3 into 5, 2 into 3 6, 6 into 5 will give us 30. Now 30 is the smaller piece. Now if it is not neither 6 nor 5. So the smallest piece where A and B would be equal is cutting it into 30 pieces. So for A, to get 6 to get to 30 pieces, 6 need to be multiplied 5 times, and 5 needs to multiply 6 times, so much more, right? It needs to be much smaller, which we have said, which will give us the denominator, that's 30 pieces is the same, which we are comparing it with, and we have 10 plus, now 3 into 6 is 18, I think, right? We have 28 by 30. We can again make it smaller to 14 to 15 and that's our, I think, base. We can go, I think, or can go to 7. No, this is the base, I think. 3, oh no, is this the base? 7, yeah, this is the base. So 14 by 15 is the answer. Let's do few calculation to make it clear. Let's do 2 by 3 plus 1 by 3. It would be, well, simply 3 by 3. So with all of the pieces, one whole. Let's take 2 by 3 and 1 by 4. Now we take the LCM. 3, 4, nothing can be done. So 3 into 14, 12. To get 12, we need to multiply or cut into 4 pieces. 1 into 4 in 3 pieces. As we are cutting them into much more smaller pieces, so does the upper number. 2 4 are 8 plus 3, 12, 11 by 12 is the answer. I hope you understand how to use addition. Subtraction is pretty similar too. We don't have to do anything. Let's take 1 by 4 again. For example, again take the LCM, so it's same as the well, same as in addition. 8 minus 3, 5 by 12, 2 6 2 4 2 2 2 3 2 by 3 is the answer. So subtraction and addition is the same, although it is same. We just have to subtract rather than adding. That's it. That's the difference. So that is what addition and subtraction really is done in fraction. Now let's go to multiplication and division. Previously, we were worried about the denominator. We made sure that both of them were equal pieces because we're adding and subtracting. So we made sure that they were equal because pieces wouldn't fit. But in subtraction and division, it doesn't matter because in a multiplication, we are changing the denominator itself, and we are in division, we are changing the again we are again changing the denominator again. In multiplication, we are asking how much smaller pieces it can get. In division, we are asking how many fractions fit in the fraction. As we're affecting the denominator itself, the denominator doesn't matter. Let's take simple 2 by 3 and 4 by 6. It doesn't matter if, okay, it doesn't really matter if it is same or not. 2 by 4, 8, 3 by 6 is 18. 8 ones are 8, 2 fours are 8, 2 nines are, and that's it. 4 by 9 is the answer. Look, what we can also do is do reciprocal, where we can divide by this, because if you don't know, multiplication vice versa is division, which we'll also learn division. So 2 by 3 divided would be 6 by 4. So 2 divided 6 would be 3. So what we can do is we can do piece cross multiplication or piece cross division. If you see this, where 2 and where crossing can divide another number, we can do that. In here 3 cannot divide 4, so we cannot do anything, but 2 can divide 6, so 2 and the 2, 2 3 is 6. It is an easy meter. If you are confused, be sure to skip this, but if you want to make it easier, you can also try this. So 1 by 3 into 4 by 3, the numerator are the same. 4 by 9, which is the same answer as this. Hope you understand the multiplication. Multiplication is really simple. It doesn't matter if you didn't know what it is, as we are making sure that smaller it is smaller pieces. Fun fact or note: whenever you are doing the multiplication, the number will always be bigger. But what is happening is quite the opposite. Here, when there was 5 pieces and 6 pieces of apple, and we got 30 pieces as a result, what was happening is that as it didn't fit, we are like, which pieces? Well, if we got 5 into like 6 pieces, the 5 pieces much more into 30 pieces, and 6 into 5 pieces smaller, then they would be equal. That's why we multiplied them. So here in fraction, multiplication is ironically having an opposite effect by making sure the pieces fit together and make it smaller. Now let's go to the division. Let's say 2 by 6. In division also, division doesn't matter. 2 by 6 and 4 by 3. Now let's say this is the division sign. Now you can do division like this in your calculator and stuff like that. But as we are human and whereas learning is really difficult to do direct division of like fraction. To avoid this, what we can do is, just like here, we do cross division of division. In multiplication, we could do is we could change this division into multiplication. As we said, division is just opposite of multiplication. In division, we say how many feet we are decreasing the value. In multiplication, we are increasing the value. So it is just the opposite of it. So when you say 2 by 6, division is the sign of 4 by 3. So it only affects the second number. So we need to turn division into multiplication. The numbers changes. The lower number go to upper and upper number go to lower. So 3 by 4. Now we can do this multiplication again. 2 ones 2, 3 puja, 3 on the 3, 3 puja. So 1 by 2 multiplied by 1 by 2 is 1 by 4. So to do division, we need to turn it into multiplication, where as we have changed the sign, we need to change the position of number 2 and we will get the answer accordingly. I hope you understand the video. I cannot really explain as much as I can. I honestly am confused in many topic, like why does number change in doing division sign here, why do we need to division in first place, and many other stuff that there are questions of fraction, but we'll move on. In the next day, we'll learn about decimal. Thank you for watching the video.